Tonight on CFTK-TV News, an investigation is launched into the Carnival workplace death, an overdose awareness and education day, and a look at the obstacles faced by those seeking recovery.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello, thanks for joining us on this Friday, August 29, 2025. I'm Helen Asante. It remained a sober scene yesterday at the Prince Rupert Civic Center, where one person was killed Tuesday night in a workplace incident. Thursday afternoon, police tape still enclosed the ride known as the Zipper, as employees and security quietly looked on. Shooting Star Amusement is a mission-based company that operates carnivals throughout the province, with similar events this month in Kelowna, Penticton, Abbotsford, and Barkly Valley. Technical Safety BC, the agency that licenses amusement equipment operators in the province, says it has launched its own investigation into the circumstances of the fatality. We will be working with other agencies to determine the cause of this incident, the organization said in a statement, adding more information will be released once the inquiry is complete. Shooting Star Amusement has confirmed they will still be coming to Terrace. However, there's a change in dates. The carnival will be closed tomorrow, Saturday, August 30th, but will open on Sunday and Monday. International Overdose Awareness Day is August 31st. A community gathering in Terrace put a spotlight on one of the urgent crises facing our region. Residents, families, and organizations came together at George Little Park to share stories and remember loved ones and push for change. Community gathered on Tuesday evening under the banner, One Big Family, a theme meant to drive home compassion and connection. Among the organizations present was Together We Can, Drug and Alcohol Recovery Education Society.
So we have some education material here on the Together We Can Drug and Alcohol Recovery and Education Society. We are currently in the process of opening up 2 sober living homes here in Terrace, a men's and a women's. Hopefully within the next couple of years, we will also be opening some primary care beds here in the north as well, meaning treatment beds. We have a bit of swag and some information about the program. And then we also have some sage and sweetgrass for giveaway, some anti-stigma stickers, some other medicine to give away. And then we also have a medicine and memory station over here where you can write your loved one's name on a heart, as well as create a prayer tie to add to the tree of prayers and well wishes. And after the event tomorrow, we are going to be doing a sweat lodge ceremony where we're going to send the prayers and memories home in a good way in the sacred fire.
With a just opened new sober living home for men right here in Terrace, a place designed to give 11 people a safe, supportive environment while transitioning from treatment back into the community.
Intakes for the men's sober living home are open now, so you can contact me through Facebook or by phone to receive an application. We currently have 10 beds available in the men's sober living home. I'm positive that now that it's known that it's open, that it will fill up quite quickly.
The society is currently calling for community support, donations of furniture, kitchenware, linens, and other essentials to help make this house a true home.
Today means a lot to me. I myself have been affected by the toxic drug crisis in many, many ways. I was once an entrenched substance user myself, and I have lost many loved ones to the toxic drug crisis. So it is a very personal matter to me. but you know, I feel like every day should be Overdose Awareness Day, and we all should stand together and figure out ways we can really be there to help our loved ones who are suffering in entrenched substance misuse.
With overdose deaths continuing to devastate families across Northwest, advocates say solutions must go beyond awareness toward action, housing, and ongoing support for recovery. Helen Asante, CFTK-TV News, Terrace. Kids are going to be returning to school very soon, and as a result, we have some reminders about staying safe around vehicles in school zones. CFTK's Kil Maslin reports.
The start of the new school year is almost here, and a frequent topic of discussion that always seems to reemerge at this time of year is safety in school zones, something that more than a few BC drivers apparently don't take as seriously as it should be, as a new ICBC survey revealed that 31% of the BC drivers that were interviewed admitted to speeding in school zones at least some of the time. The Terrace RCMP recently posted some tips on how to stay safe that are directed towards students, parents, and drivers. Drivers are advised to avoid distractions, slow down in residential areas, and watch for children, and also be aware of school buses because vehicles heading in both directions have to stop when its lights are flashing. Parents are asked to make sure that their kids know the basics of crossing the street, like stopping, looking both ways, and ensuring that there aren't any incoming vehicles or that they've stopped completely. Fines for drivers who don't abide by the speed limit of 30 kilometers per hour or other school zone rules can go up to $368. Terrace's RCMP are also said to have an increased presence in school zones soon in order to make sure that 1, the speed limit is followed, and 2, nobody gets hurt. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Kale Maslin.
Coming up next, detox and recovery in BC examined. We now take a look at the difficulties surrounding access to detox and recovery as Penny Daflos continues her series on the drug crisis.
With the death toll in the thousands and climbing every day, critics blame the government for not doing more.
We need these individuals to getting help next week.
For illicit drug users wanting to end their addiction during a toxic drug crisis.
We need to get to a place in British Columbia where we've got a heavy focus on recovery.
It is incredibly frustrating, and it's actually harmful. It's harmful to patients when they hear bits of information that is inaccurate or false and deters them from accessing services that may otherwise meet their needs.
Millions of tax dollars are poured into recovery each year, and Dr. Shauna Nolan co-founded a program simplifying the process.
The previous addiction treatment system was fairly fragmented, and it was really difficult for patients and their families to navigate. Through the creation of a single front door, it streamlines people to one single telephone number to call to access substance use services.
When I was in the ambulance on my way to the RAC clinic, they just were like, they're really good at what they do.
Jamie Ramsey went to the Road to Recovery program after severe alcohol withdrawal saw her in and out of the ER.
Definitely felt like super overwhelmed, super embarrassed that I was there for something like that.
And found the team of doctors, nurses, and support workers who arranged for detox and more.
All I had to do was show up and say I need help. And everything else that I needed to be done was guided for me.
The detox rooms at St. Paul's prioritize patients with high-risk withdrawal symptoms, including hallucinations that might have landed them in the ICU.
One thing that people don't understand about addiction treatment is how incomplete our knowledge is of how to cure people. Even our best, most evidence-based treatment for addiction doesn't work for half of people.
There are more than 3,000 government-funded recovery beds. In the private sector, there are dozens of operators who charge big bucks and offer an array of methods with little oversight.
It's like the Wild West, and we really need to have it regulated.
Since Road to Recovery started, detox waits have shrunk to a day or two in Vancouver Coastal Health. They're now applying the same prioritization and efficiency strategy to recovery beds, aiming to slash those wait times so people get the support they need when and where they need it before they can change their minds. Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
The number of active wildfires in BC has taken another jump to 85 as the BC Wildfire Service warns of lightning across the coast and southern Ontario. Environment Canada has also issued a severe thunderstorm watch for the Fraser Canyon, Nicola and South Thompson regions, including Lytton and Kamloops. It spans an area that has been subject to an ongoing heat warning all week. The weather office says temperatures are expected to decline slightly, but today's highs will continue to hover around the mid-30s. Next, let's take a look at your Northwest weather reports. It's shaping up to be a beautiful long weekend. Tonight on the North Coast, expect conditions to be slightly cloudy, fog patches developing near midnight, low 12 degrees. Over the next few days on the North Coast, expect a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Then sunshine and warm temperatures for this weekend. Daily highs between 17 and 19 degrees. Overnight lows between 11 and 14 degrees. Tonight in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect increasing cloudiness and a 30% chance of showers overnight. Winds from the south at 20 kilometers per hour, becoming light near midnight, low 14 degrees. Over the next few days in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect chance of showers tomorrow, but still hot, sunny temperatures. Daily highs between 25 and 28 degrees, overnight lows between 14 and 16. Tonight in the Barkley Valley and Lakes District, expect a few clouds and a low of 6 degrees. Over the next few days in the Barkley Valley and Lakes District, it's steady sunshine in the forecast. At daily highs between 29 and 31 degrees, overnight lows between 9 and 11 degrees. Checking your highway around the Northwest now. Highway 16, construction in Prince Rupert, detour in effect. Bridge maintenance, road maintenance, utility work, shoulder maintenance, paving operations. Highway 37, bridge construction, construction work. Highway 37A, paving operations, fallen rocks. Nisga'a Highway, road construction, crack sealing. Still to come, the escalating demands for justice reform. The tragic intimate partner murder of Bailey McCourt has raised demand for justice reform. CTV's Rob Baffam reports.
We're not going to stop fighting until we see these changes implemented.
A grieving family is demanding changes to the justice system.
It will protect lives. And we don't want to see anybody else go through what our family is going through.
32-year-old Bailey McCourt was killed on July 4th in broad daylight in a Kelowna parking lot. The mother of two was beaten to death by a hammer. Her friend was also attacked and left with injuries. McCourt's estranged husband, James Plover, is charged with second-degree murder. Earlier that day, he'd been convicted of uttering threats and assault by choking in a domestic violence case, but wasn't held in custody pending his sentencing. McCourt's aunt says her death was preventable.
This is what Bailey would want, and you know, we need to keep people like her sisters and daughters safe in the future.
They want to see legislative reform called Bailey's Law that includes GPS monitoring and a registry of convicted domestic offenders, first-degree murder charges for domestic homicide, and risk assessment tools for those likely to reoffend. They also want to see stricter domestic violence bail laws.
A no-contact order, a piece of paper, isn't enough to keep people safe.
The family has sent their plea to the Prime Minister. BC's Attorney General says she's reviewing them and already pushed Ottawa for bail reform that addresses certain crimes that often escalate.
I've asked for specific changes to the criminal code related to the choking and suffocation and those types of intrapartner violence that the evidence shows can lead to serious harm and death.
McCourt's family says the changes are critical to fix a broken system that's left 2 little girls without a mother and a community desperate to find meaning in her senseless death.
Bailey was very kind, very compassionate, a loving person, and she would want to see something positive come out of this horrific situation.
Robert Buffum, CTV News.
3 buddies decided to form a band. Coming up with a catchy name came next. CTV's Brendan Strain shares the story.
When Cam and his 3 buddies decided to form a band, getting noticed was their first hurdle.
We were playing bonspiels Saturday nights, making sure that the party was lively.
Coming up with a catchy name came next.
We were actually gonna call ourselves Runaway Lane. You know those things from the on the Coquihalla Highway?
After a quick Google, the group realized that name was already taken, so they went with something a bit more island-based.
Kind of went with Plan B, which was 3 sailing weight.
Making an obvious reference to BC ferries and the delays many have experienced at the terminal. Now the band is making waves after BC Ferries issued a cease and desist order pertaining to the band's use of imagery and font in its logo, looking a little too close for comfort for the transportation giant. BC Ferries telling CTV News, "We respect local artists and their creativity. This isn't about the band's name or their music. In fact, 3 sailing weight is pretty accurate if you don't have a reservation with the volume of travelers we're seeing today. Trademark law requires us to act when something could cause confusion. If we don't, we risk losing the ability to protect our brand against more serious or misleading uses in the future." The band quickly complied with no ill will and is now soaking up all the media attention that has started to get them noticed.
It's definitely been a lot, but we welcome it. We're trying to take it in stride and accept every interview we can.
3 sailing weight is sticking with the name, although it has now changed its imagery.
You got something that belongs to me.
Now the band has written a new song about the experience.
Cease and desist, coming to get you, you're on my list.
And as they pen those new songs and soak up the attention, they say bookings are open.
Grateful for the attention. 3sailingweight.com.
Cease and desist, coming to get you, you catch my drift.
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Saanich.
Turning to the markets now, the materials sector helped lift up Canada's main stock index to finish higher on Friday, while U.S. markets were down. The Canadian dollar rose just under 1/10 of a cent. The price of gold gained $41.80. Oil dropped 59 cents. Natural gas was up by 4 cents. Aluminium was down $2. In Toronto, the TSX was up almost 130 points. Venture index gained 12 points. In New York, the Dow Jones was down 92 points, and the Nasdaq was down almost 250 points. Air attack on the capital of Ukraine. A massive air attack on the capital in Kyiv, and dozens of buildings were hit. Russia claimed the strikes were targeting Ukraine's military industry complex. CTV's Rachel Ayo reports.
Multiple body bags pulled from this smoldering residential building in Kyiv after Russia launched a massive air attack on the capital. Dozens of buildings were hit or damaged by debris. Russia claimed the strikes were targeting Ukraine's military-industrial complex, but the death toll, expected to climb, already includes 4 children.
The Ukrainians are holding very hard, and so the Russians are pounding. They're not willing to negotiate yet.
The attack, the first targeting the city center since the Alaska summit, raising new questions about where U.S. President Donald Trump's peace talks stand.
He was not happy about this news, but he was also not surprised.
The European Union and United Kingdom are summoning Russia's envoys after strikes damage their diplomatic offices in the capital.
We are keeping maximum pressure on Russia.
The Canadian embassy was not hit. Foreign Affairs confirming all staff are safe. But that didn't deter Prime Minister Mark Carney from blasting Russia in a lengthy statement. By murdering when he should be talking, Putin demonstrates in the most horrific manner that his mission to subsume the Ukrainian people under his tyranny continues. Carney said in part, "The Prime Minister was just in Kyiv, where he vowed Canada's aid contributions could expand in the event of a ceasefire."
And I would not exclude the presence of troops.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been working the phones with top world leaders in the aftermath of the attack, thanking them for their support and pressing for tough new sanctions on Russia. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The latest GDP numbers have few economists sounding the alarm about Canada possibly heading toward a recession. CIBC senior economist Andrew Graham says a weak June figures means Canada's economy was entering the third quarter on a low note. He says growth for this quarter is tracking between flat and 0.5%. Graham says the weaker than expected trend in the monthly figures would support a September interest rate cut, but adds inflation and jobs data for August will also play a factor in the Bank of Canada's decision. A child who has been through a tremendous journey has found a way to give back. We'll leave you tonight with CTV Swawaski's sign-off.
After months of asking his mom,
"Can I have a lemonade stand?"
and her saying just wait till after winter,
"It's too cold outside."
Anders Yee finally got the go-ahead to set up his stand.
"If you're making pink lemonade, you also add cranberry juice."
But rather than expressing some sort of entrepreneurial spirit,
he goes, "I want to raise money for charity."
The 8-year-old was wanting some way to give back.
"Because I want to help other people."
Susanna Yee says her son has benefited from the Canucks Autism Network because he's on the spectrum, and the Victoria Hospitals Foundation because he spent 35 days in the NICU.
There's not enough money to give back.
Which is why, after donating $21 from his stand over spring break, Anders asked his mom if he could raise even more this summer.
I wanted to save a life.
You wanted to save a life?
Mm-hmm.
You see, this week marks a year since Anders witnessed the loss of his dad's life from a brain aneurysm.
I thought doing a stand in memory of his dad is a way of the healing process.
Susanna says Kevin was always giving to others, and supporting their boy's inherent desire to be generous is a way of keeping that legacy alive.
We all go through a grieving period, but at the same time, you've got to continue to live.
So the little boy set a big goal of $100.
Wow. Very unexpected.
Before raising more than $1,000.
I'm very impressed about what happened.
But then, after his story was broadcast across the country, viewers were inspired to donate 1,000 more. And just last week, another 1,000, bringing Anders' total to more than $3,200.
I'm feeling proud. I saved a lot of lives.
Which is why Anders is now planning to sell lemonade in honor of his dad every year.
I know my husband is looking down and he's smiling down on us and saying, "Good job."
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
That's our news for now. More local news you can find us at CFTK-TV.com. We are also on YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky, and X. And this weekend, catch the Week in Review with Kale Meslin.